If you're looking for company drivers, well, hey, it's a great time to be you. Higher costs for company drivers continue to drop in May as the cost for owner-operators shot up dramatically. Market conditions have improved a bit, but forecasts are still a bit negative due to the ongoing tariff uncertainty. We'll check in with Jason Miller to see if he has any thoughts in his monthly economic update. And in our news story, we'll take a look at a new app from the Port of Savannah that has been introduced with the goal of providing truckers with a smoother and more efficient experience at the port's terminals. All that and more just ahead. For Randall Reilly, I'm Joshua Miller, and this is the 30-Day Reset. Welcome back to the show, everybody. We're here every month to take a look at the latest driver recruiting, freight, and economic data to help you get a better understanding of where the market is, where it's heading, and what you can do to succeed. We'll also talk about a current news story in every edition of our show here, and all that info for the story and all the previously mentioned data, well, that's all available to you for free in our monthly 30-Day Reset download. You can find that in the description on YouTube or right below the video player if you're watching on our site. And speaking of YouTube, if you happen to be watching us there and you haven't already, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We have all kinds of other videos covering a whole heap of different topics, not only dealing with driver recruiting and freight data, but recruiting and talent acquisition in general. So be sure to check out the channel and take a peek. Now let's get into the latest data, starting with Trucking by the Numbers, brought to you by Stratus. Overall, as I mentioned in the opening tease there, it's a pretty good time to be in the market for company drivers. Higher costs fell by 16% in April to its most favorable level in almost 5 years, and then, well, it continued to drop in May. Owner-operators, however, are a different story. Companies are hesitant to partner with them at the moment, leading to an increase in costs. The number of leads required to hire an owner-op just about doubled, despite the fact that the lead quality has remained consistent. This, in turn, led to hiring costs for owner-operators skyrocketing and increased by 81% month over month. In a bit of an unexpected change, as these fleets have become more hesitant to partner with and hire owner-ops, many are turning back to lease purchase programs. For the first time we have on record, there are actually more new job postings for lease purchase positions than owner-op positions. This is, again, likely due to the uncertainty surrounding the overall market and tariff implications. So we'll have to wait just a little longer to see how this all plays out over the long haul. Over on the freight side of things, we're coming off the annual International Road Check Inspection event. For our purposes today, we're going to talk a little bit about today's numbers compared to the same amount of time after the Road Check event from last year, because unfortunately, further comparisons to prior years are a bit distorted as the 2025 and 2024 weeks, well, they just don't exactly match up. Total load volume was down 16.5% year over year, but compared to the second week following last year's road check, the volume was up 6.7%. Spot rates were up a little more than 2% when compared to the same week last year, as well as when compared to the second week coming off the road check last year. When it comes to the individual segments, dry van loads were down 16%, while the spot rates were up 1% year over year. Refrigerated loads fell by 29% as spot rates were down by 6%. And flatbed volume was down 6.5% year over year as the rates for flatbed actually increased by 3% year over year. Now with all that out of the way, let's get to this month's news story. In an effort to create a smoother experience for truckers, the Port of Savannah has introduced a new app. The GPA Trucker App allows drivers to save drive time, simplify the paperwork, and get notifications regarding gate hours to help plan out their days more efficiently. The app is equipped with facial and fingerprint recognition to help with ease of use. The Port of Savannah averages anywhere from 14 to 16,000 gate moves daily from Monday to Friday. So, as you can imagine, drivers having quick and easy access to this information, well, it could be a game changer. Future planned improvements to the app include push notifications for digital tickets and nav assistance through a service such as Waze or Apple Maps. GPA President and CEO Griff Lynch had this to say. At GPA, we see drivers as our frontline customers, and we are always working to provide a superior customer experience. To learn more about using the app, you can visit gaports.com/motor-carriers. The app is free and it's available right now on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Just search GPA Trucker to download it. Now let's check in with Jason Miller for his latest economic update.
Welcome everyone to our June market update. And what we're going to start with is in terms of manufacturing activity, again, the source of about 58% of the ton miles of freight demand, is May's data across 5 Fed bank manufacturing surveys showed an improvement in new order momentum. So April was very weak. May bounced up a little bit, and that was good news, but still in contractionary territory. So that is still the bad news with this. You'll remember in May, we had a tariff pause on the 145% tariffs in China. And so some good news there, but as we're entering June, we just had 50% metal tariffs introduced. So we have to see how that's going to play out. If we take a look at line haul dry van prices calculated from DAT Freight and Analytics data, basically where we're at with the end of May is kind of moving along really the bottom of a 2-year trough, where we've had some seasonal spikes in, the winter months with the holidays and then extremely bad weather in January. And then last year, you'll recall a spike in June, but then again, things kind of eased up. So we're going to be looking at this year is how does June perform relative to historical comparisons in both tight and loose markets. But right now, certainly not expecting anything like, let's say, a 2018 style freight market. And we're seeing similar dynamics of, if anything, rates started the year on a little bit more positive trajectory, but have actually weakened subsequently. The Bureau of Labor Statistics Producer Price Index that captures the dry van truckload sector was picking up some, 2.5% year-over-year gains in the earlier part of 2025. But we've now essentially eased back to neutrality in terms of a year-over-year basis through April. And then if we start asking, well, is the market ready to turn? Historically, one of the indicators I like to look at is DAT's spot data, DAT's contract data, and specifically the difference between those two, essentially normalized by their average, can tell us a lot about the market. And the approach that I like to use would be indicating that while June so far, and we're very preliminary, has seen some tightening, we're still well below the thresholds we would really like to see to say that the market is getting around a turn. So right now, it does not feel that we are there at that point in time. There's a lot of speculation about English language fluency causing a supply shock to the driver pool. I'm not really concerned about that from a capacity standpoint, simply because if carriers are non-compliant with the English language requirements, the fact that they're going to more stringently enforce the laws isn't magically going to lead to a massive tightening of capacity. And so the key thing is it's all about demand right now. And what we're waiting for is not only to see how things play out this month, but to get some clarity on where the 90-day reciprocal tariff pause is going to be come July. And also, whether there's any retaliatory efforts at the moment. So that wraps up our June market update. Look back for us next month. And if we don't see you before the 4th, have a wonderful 4th of July, folks.
Thank you very much, Jason. We appreciate your expertise, and we're looking forward to your next update. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of yet another edition of the 30-Day Reset. We hope you found all of the data and information we covered in today's show useful. And if you'd like your copy of anything we covered today, plus a lot more, don't forget that is available for you for free down below in this month's 30-Day Reset download. Until next time, thanks for watching.